he he had an issue with the war and stuff like that. So he wrote this. He actually was in the war, so he wrote this book, and it's just a really grueling, you know, realistic telling of the atrocities of war. So the movie is kind of the same way. It's interesting.
Did you ever read the book, or you just watched the movie?
No, I just watched the movie. I mean, I've heard of the book. The book is pretty famous. But yeah, it's just
Yeah, because I've heard of the book. So
yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah, and it seems like I read parts of the book after watching the movie, and it seems it's kind of like matches one for one almost.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that. It sounds interesting.
I did on that note on war topics. Mm-hmm. I did hear that Star Wars, a lot of the combat scenes, especially the space battle scenes, are based off of World War II dogfights and naval battles.
I wouldn't be surprised. Star Wars gets a lot of its influence from a French or Belgian graphic novel. There's a movie. They made a movie out of it. Valerians. I forget the full title, but yeah, that's if you Google it, you'll see that in the other graphic novel they have knights with with swords and stuff, and yeah, and it's kind of like the same story of kind of Luke.
Yeah, Star Wars is funny because it seemed like it had a heavy samurai influence, especially with the way the Jedi are portrayed, but at the same time it feels like it kind of like veered off course after a while. What the heck, dude?
Is that your other daughter?
Hello.
Creepy. That's your AI daughter.
You almost gave me a heart attack with that stinking thing.
My daughter left her doll in my office on my chair, and it freaked me the F out when I walked in. I walked in, I didn't turn on the lights yet. I was like, who's that?
Some of those dolls, I swear, they're creepy as hell.
Yeah.
I like stuffed animals better for Lila than for me.
Yeah.
But
you're saying Star Wars is what? Oh, sorry. What is it?
It's kind of like a mixed bag. It sounds like they had an original idea and they went with it, but then they modified it and then they kept modifying it. So it's
it feels like
all over the place.
I mean, I feel like the original story is just kind of out there. It feels like a stream of consciousness from George Lucas. It's like, and then there was this battle, and then this, and then this, and then that happened. And then as it got popular, it seems like they tried to make it more kind of cohesive, but it didn't really work out. I mean, I'm still a fan, but I'm more of a Trekkie than a Star Wars guy.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars.
So, moving on from Star Wars, let's talk about jiu-jitsu because that's why we're here. Thomas,
it's time for the intro.
Who's BJJ and Star Wars?
What are you drinking, Wole?
My go-to bourbon with some sweetener in it. Takes the edge off.
Yeah.
So I have bad news. My bottle of rum is almost done.
What?
No.
After a year, it is almost time to retire it. So I'm going to move on to whiskey.
What kind of whiskey?
I don't know yet. I was thinking about trying something fancy. I was thinking about just walking into a liquor store and saying something silly like, "Give me your finest mid-grade whiskey," and see what they bring me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I suggest one?
These can get really fancy.
There's this one that I really enjoy called TX whiskey. It's like a blended. Hold on, I'll show you the bottle. This one right here.
Oh, okay.
TX that looks blended whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
It's like on the sweeter, as sweet as like whiskey can get. It's on the sweeter side. It's it's definitely my favorite whiskey for sure.
No, cool.
Highly recommend.
I
If
might
it's
pick.
I like Glenlivet.
that
So
one's a little too
well,
sharp for me.
yeah, I mean it depends on which age you get. If it's aged more, it smoothens out a bit more. Um, but yeah, that's a good whiskey.
I was also thinking about getting like a
Wait, are you
Gramanier.
so well, hold on, Thomas. Are you saying you're not boozing during
Oh,
booze and
oh
BJJ
no.
night?
I think I have the last of my rum in the
Oh,
Yeah.
fridge.
okay. Okay. Good stuff. Good show. Good show.
So I am drink
What are you drinking? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You are drinking.
I'm drinking Coke Zero and rum.
Yeah.
It's
Party it
very
up.
delicious.
Hey.
Yeah. What are you drinking, Yana?
I'm being fancy and I'm drinking a wine.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. I was
No,
gonna
okay,
just
so I discovered a new brand I'm not trying to make this like a sponsored thing. I'm not trying to advertise here, but if you want a good wine, I know where to find it. It's at Wegmans. This one, this red right here, it's
Hmm.
freaking delicious.
What was the name of it again?
It's called it's a red blend. I guess I like blends,
Hmm.
Il Casato. I don't know if you can read
Oh,
that.
I see. Yeah. Did I ever tell you my wine story?
I didn't know you had a wine story. No.
In my mid 20s, I guess, I got really pissed off and decided to paint something but I wanted something to kind of drink. So I got a bottle of wine from Trader Joe's, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even pick. I just saw a bottle of wine and picked it up, bought it, went home, opened it, started drinking it, started painting. And I was like, wait a second, I've finished half of this bottle and I don't feel anything. So I was just painting. I was getting even more angry. So I was like,
Except being cranberry juice.
no, it actually was wine, right?
Oh,
So
you just
I,
have high tolerance.
well, that's the thing. I have a low tolerance for alcohol. So I figured I should be tipsy or something. So I got mad and I was like, I need another thing to drink. And I got
gotta
up,
buy another bottle.
took a step, and immediately just fell over and face planted.
Face planted.
I hit the ground so hard, my grandparents were like ran upstairs to check on me.
Yeah, it's always when you stand up. You don't realize how drunk you are when you're sitting down, but when you stand up and you walk around, you're like, oh, okay.
I was like,
I'm a
yeah,
So,
little tipsy.
what museum is your masterpiece in now?
I actually destroyed it. It's a little bit too dark for my own good. Like I was at the time I was thinking about having a little bit of a gallery showing for the artwork I was doing.
Hmm.
But I saw that painting when I was done with it and I was like, no. No.
I didn't realize you painted.
Oh yeah, I went to art school for a little bit. Didn't like it, but I went for a little bit, like 2 years.
What's your favorite genre?
Um, so bronze casting. I like working
Hmm.
with bronze.
Hmm.
Yeah, my second favorite medium to work. I assume you meant medium, but my second medium.
No, I mean genre, like the type of, is it like
Hey, like,
joyful? Is it melancholy?
Oh no, I
there's
like.
a
I
Is
actually
it
like.
cubist,
flowers?
I actually like.
cubist pointillism.
I actually like classic art, like classic European
Okay.
art.
Mhm.
Um, half because that's what I kind of what I grew up with.
Mhm.
Growing up in Germany, like going to art galleries, you see, you know, all sorts of just classic masterpieces and stuff. But yeah, like that just kind of carried over with me. But I like to
It's
like.
funny because
Hmm?
I was gonna say, if we're gonna bring it back into jujitsu, jujitsu is very much like an art form. It really is, and I feel like I meet a lot of very like artistic people or military in jujitsu. It's like one or the other, you know. You have
Mhm.
the surfer dude, like, hey, bro, yeah, like life is art and life is just like the
Well,
way.
did you hear what was that competition where it was like stoners versus cops? I think it was.
I feel like that's basically, yeah, that's the
That's basically
demographic
it.
of jujitsu. It's like
Yeah.
stoners and cops. That's it. That's hilarious.
Yeah, but
Um,
Yeah, like jujitsu's, I kind of view it like dancing because I also did that for a very long time. It's a physical expression of an art form.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you're flow rolling, it's like dancing. I have a
Nobody
dance
flow
background,
rolls.
so that's why I feel like, but I'm also like more the aggressive type. So I feel like that's why jujitsu was so perfect for me because it's like dancing, but aggressively.
Nobody flow rolls. It always starts off, let's flow roll. Then
I
it's like
know, yeah, no,
100%
but
like,
I that's true. Like it really, I can see that. But I really do try, like, because I can catch myself now more now, like as you get more experience, you can catch yourself better when you realize, like, okay, this I'm not flow rolling right now. Like I know that I'm exerting a little too much force, I'm resisting too much. Um, and I can like recognize that more now, you know. And I think it takes experience, like and this kind of reverts back to conversations we've had about like white belts and if they can flow roll and blah 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 blah. And it's really hard as a white belt because you don't understand technique. You don't really know that much technique. And but when you're a higher belt, you do understand technique versus muscling,
yeah,
and that's the whole idea behind flow rolling is that it's very much like technique, but you're also it's like a give and take. But
yeah.
anyway, I wanted to talk about everybody's week of training, because I know that's also how you kind of start off the podcast,
Mhm.
Thomas. So maybe we want to do a round of that.
Sure. Well, you can start because I'm going to tell on
Um,
myself. So,
I
I'll,
actually haven't been training much this week. I've got my nephew and niece over, so it's been we've been basically just kind of entertaining them and like taking care of them. So I haven't had much of a chance to train. And then the judo is kind of they're renewing their contract with this the space where they're at, so there hasn't been any
Who?
judo.
Where?
Judo,
Yeah, but what?
um,
Where?
DC judo,
Oh, okay.
and yeah, but not last week, but the week before, I got one step closer to purple belt. I got my third stripe. So
I'm good.
yeah,
Woo! High five.
so I'm excited about that. So yeah, just my plan this year is just to do a bunch of competitions and just train really hard
Yeah,
this
just
year.
keep getting more
So
experience. You don't necessarily
yeah,
have to do competitions to get more experience, but if you
no,
want to
yeah.
do that, go
I
ahead.
mean, I do like competitions because gives me a chance to go up against people I have no clue what their game is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like to go to different open mats and just
yeah,
roll with
that's true.
different people because it's always a surprise,
Hmm.
But
I
yeah.
got into more nogi also this year. So
Cool.
Uh,
It's a
so
different beast for sure.
yeah, I know.
you have gotten into the no-gi, my friend.
Yes.
I love no-gi. Yana, how's your week going?
I didn't train at all this week until I worked out on Friday, but then I trained a lot over the weekend. I went to an open mat on Saturday, and then I trained twice today, Sunday.
Mm,
I went to the grindhouse in the morning, and then
Yeah.
so Kogeyan, the brown belt there, the female brown belt, Beatrice,
mhm,
she hosts a female only kind of like open mat training, where we basically do 10 rounds nonstop, 6 minutes each. So it's like
Oh, wow.
more than 60 seconds because there's 30
Yeah.
second break in between. But it's basically like an hour of training, um, ongoing rounds, 10 rounds, and only females. And it's phenomenal. Like I have to give her hella credit because she hosts this. I mean, she's like doing jujitsu all the freaking time.
mhm.
Like, and she hosts it Friday nights and or Sunday evenings. And this is the first time I've been able to attend on a Sunday evening. And there was just like 20 women there. It was crazy. And it was amazing. And I love training with other women. Jiu-jitsu being such a male-dominated sport, which is like slowly changing over time, but it's still primarily male-dominated. So any chance I get to train with other women, I want to take advantage of it because it's just different, and it's more in line with what I'd be expecting in a competition, if I'm actually competing. But I would say that women are a little bit more, they're more flexy and bendy and technical. And you're like, what's going on right now? What position are we in right now? Like, where are my legs? It's great. I love it. So I did that this evening and it was fantastic. And I just kind of want to, I guess, say to like any female out there who's interested in jiu-jitsu, there's plenty of us here, and stick with it. Or if you're interested, do it. If you're still at the beginning stages, stick with it because there's plenty of us who are around to help you out, and we want more women in jiu-jitsu. So that's my little plug. Go on, Thomas.
I want more women in jiu-jitsu too. I think it's like, and not necessarily just because I feel like a lot of times the introduction is kind of like for self-defense, but mainly just like purely for the sport of it. Like when you try and get meat eaters to eat vegetarian food, and you kind of, it's like a hopping, what's it called? A hopping stone. It's like the
stepping
meat
stone
substitute. There you go. It's like the meat substitutes, and then it's like the going vegetarian. I kind of feel like that's what the women being introduced to jiu-jitsu for self-defense is like. You kind of give them a taste and then let them get into it. But yeah, I think it's important to have women and more women in jiu-jitsu.
I mean, it's a different game entirely,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I said, it tends to be a lot more technique. It tends to be a lot more like flexibility. And men tend to be, they use their muscles, and there's a higher risk of injury. There's more aggression with men, which is, it's part of the sport, but that,
But yeah, I think that's also, as a guy, that's another reason I would like more women in jiu-jitsu. Is just, it forces you to be a lot more technical.
Honestly, I can attribute, do you guys remember Katie Miller?
Yeah.
Most of my control, like just with rolling, came from rolling with her a lot because I didn't want to squish her.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she was like chaining submissions on me. So while I was like trying to transition from position to position or trying to, apply a submission on her or trying to do a guard pass, she was attacking me the whole time, like from all angles. So I had to figure out how to keep my 100 pound plus heavier self from just simply falling over and crushing her, because that's silly. That wouldn't do anything for her. I wouldn't learn anything from it. She wouldn't learn anything from it. Like, it's not a fair match
at all. Yeah.
Right. True. But having to deal with her, I learned a lot about control in terms of movement. So, and then Kelsey too, but Kelsey was like a little bit more like fun. So like she'd try to armbar me and I would just lift her off the ground, take a couple steps and put her back down. But grotesque displays of strength are, I give myself one of those a month. When Yana gets back, I'm going to continue my training story because she might get mad at me for what I have to say. Should be pretty good. So you said you got your third stripe?
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. It goes fast after that. Like,
Hopefully.
yeah, you'll be a purple belt in no time. But
Yeah, a few guys they got their black belts, and it's like, oh wow, that's
a
got to
few.
be. Yeah, they're like three or four folks got their black belts. Yeah,
Oh man, like I was at a seminar yesterday, and my buddy Damien got his black belt.
nice.
So
Mm.
yeah, but he's like a monster brown belt. Like
Mm.
he deserved that, And then
Yeah,
in like a week or two, he's competing already as a black belt.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's gotta suck if you have a competition lined up and then you get promoted right before.
yeah, well, I think that happened to somebody I know. He signed up for Grappling Industries as a blue belt, and he got promoted literally the week before.
Mm.
So, like, what?
I I still want one of those, get promoted at a competition things.
Well, I mean, you have 2 tries, 3. I don't know if it happens at black belt a lot, unless you're at like a really big tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
Where did Yana go?
Mm.
Whatever. But anyways, so the Adam was
Oh,
this
yeah.
what?
I was just saying, my mentality now is just try and beat everybody, basically.
See, I have a few stories about my week, but I need Yana here to chastise me for being stupid. So,
Mhm.
but I'll tell you real quick. So, I've been trying to get back into shape because I had to take some time off for
Mhm.
various reasons. And like guys I usually have a good role with, like challenging but not too I don't get too steamrolled. They were whooping my behind easily, and it was
Mhm.
simply because I was out of shape. So I got agitated and I was like, okay, I need to get into shape. So I started working out a little bit more. I started training a little bit more, and I could see the difference. Like I could tell that I
Mhm.
was slower. My timing was off. But what I ended up doing was I ended up going to Pentagon.
Mhm.
There are 2 morning classes at 5:30 a.m. and then their morning open mat at 5:30 a.m.
Go for that.
So I
Mhm.
started doing that and then going to the regular training at Chantilly in the
Mhm.
evening. So like last week I trained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 7 times,
Mhm.
like 3 morning sessions, uh 2 evening sessions, the class that I teach, and then open mat. So
Mhm.
I did all that in a week. And Yana does not think that I should be doing that. So that's why I was trying to wait for her to get back before I snitched on myself.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
doesn't
no.
sound. Yeah,
Go
there.
ahead. Yeah, go
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Wally.
Wally.
Oh no. I was just concurring. I don't think that sounds like overtraining to me.
Especially when you have a newborn
Uh-huh.
He's the
and
size of a
like you're
4-year-old
juggling
already.
that. Huh?
He's the size of a 4-year-old already.
It doesn't
Yeah,
even
he's,
matter.
he's
That's a lot of work.
yeah.
Yeah.
You need to give yourself, and especially if you're dealing with an injury, weren't you like also dealing with like your neck injury or
Oh, my neck is fine. It's a little wonky, but it's okay.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, newborn, work stressors, whatever. It's just like too much. Don't spread yourself too thin because that's the highest risk of injury is when you're spreading yourself too thin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Take
mean,
her take her take her friend Yana when she used to live
at the gym.
at the school at the gym, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I had that pinched nerve and I was out for like well, okay. I was supposed to be out for 2 months, but
Mm.
I'm not good at taking advice. So uh yeah, I mean,
I'm not either.
yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't have any other responsibilities. That's the thing. And I guess that's what I'm trying to say here, Thomas, is that when you have other responsibilities like a child and, work and whatever else. That's,
I mean,
No,
just make the child part of your workout, just lifts,
he is
bench
deadlifts,
press your newborn.
he is heavy enough to give me a warm up.
So my son, he's like 2.5 and he's almost 40 pounds. So yes, he's a big kid. So today we were walking to the museums and I had him on my shoulders. I was like, man, this is a workout. Yeah. And then I sometimes lift him, like do deadlifts, and he thinks that's like hilarious. He loves that. So yeah.
One of my kids is like 44 pounds and he's 7.
Yeah. And my kid is almost, he's tall. I think he's like what, 3'2" or so. He's basically the size of a 4-year-old. Yeah. Yeah.
What have you been
Wow. So
feeding
like
him?
what's the percentile of
I
his
don't know.
height?
He's like in the 90th percentile for height. His weight's like maybe like 70th, 80th. He's not like he's solid, but it's not like he's like big. But he's like his height is definitely like in the upper 90th percentile.
So, real quick, which video do we want to review first?
I watched the first one, the one about
I didn't watch either one.
Side control and avoiding side control. Like if you're a black belt, you never go to side control. I watched that one, but I didn't see the second one.
So the second one is about a kung fu practitioner that walked into an MMA gym and demanded a no rules fight.
Let's watch that.
You want to watch that one first?
How long is it?
Let me check.
Wait, is it a legit kung fu?
Well, I have a big forehead.
I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it.
But as a woman, I have a big forehead.
No.
Just do bangs. What are you doing? Are you comparing your forehead size?
I'm just being silly. Anyway, play the video, Tom.
All right. So the video is actually about the fight itself, and it looks like it's only about 9 minutes long. Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
9 minutes. Okay. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm curious to see.
Yeah, I haven't watched it either. All right. We're going to pull this one over. Share. So, little background. A kung fu practitioner walks into an MMA gym, demands a...
This sounds like a joke.
Oh, Jesus, you're right.
It sounds like the start of a joke. Anyway,
you're right.
Go ahead.
So he demands a no rules fight. And where's the start of it? So the guys there said, no, this is a bad idea. So he gets one of his top students to do an MMA match against
the jiu-jitsu person.
The kung fu guy signs one of his top students to do an MMA match with a jiu-jitsu / MMA fighter from the school that he walked into. So the kung fu guy has no grappling training at all.
Yeah. Wait, why did the kung fu guy's instructor sign him up?
Apparently, a dude said he was too old to do it himself, and he's like 50. So,
yeah, I'm just like, if I were the student, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. Why are you signing me up for stuff I don't want to do? Anyway.
Right, like if you want to do it, then do it. I don't want to be like, you know how students are, like they're loyal to their coach, their sensei, like, yes, sensei.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, it's like if you're true martial artists, even if you're 50 years old, you should be able to hold your own, right?
I mean, that's correct. But one thing I've learned in life, you can convince anybody to do something stupid well, let me rephrase. You will always find somebody that you can convince to do something stupid. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm saying that wrong. But yeah, there's always somebody who will do something crazy like this. But I'm going to start it about a minute in because I think this is where the fight actually starts. I'm going to turn the sound off. So I think the Kung Fu guy is the guy on the right in the American flag shorts. But I guess we'll see when this starts. This is a terrible video, by the way.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's like Cloverfield.
Right.
Don't ever watch that movie drunk. Oh, nope.
Okay.
That's the MMA guy.
Yeah. Also, why would you go into something when you have no experience in that martial art?
Right? That's what I'm thinking. If I heard like, oh, they had jiu-jitsu experience and ground training and I don't, I'm going to be like, hold on a second.
Yeah, I mean, I would never go to
confidence comes in. Yeah. They're like, the person was probably like, oh yeah, I mean, we won't get to the ground.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'll never go to like a Kung Fu school. What's up?
He's using close guard. So I'm not sure.
Maybe he knows a little something.
Yeah.
But he's also not getting out of it. So that's also a problem.
I don't think that anybody well, maybe he knows a little close guard, but
yeah.
Oh, he's hugging from the bottom.
I think it's just instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, somebody's opened up already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the dude on the bottom's not the grappler because you'd have been out of there. I'm actually surprised that the grappler is having so much trouble with this. They just break guard.
So I'll be honest, like I have found that like anybody who has a background in martial arts, even if it's just standing and striking, they start off with something and they're a lot more difficult than just more Joe off the street who's like, I want to do jiu-jitsu now. I've definitely, I mean, I don't know if it's
like the
names,
fighter.
but like I've rolled with a couple people who were like Muay Thai background. They didn't know any jiu-jitsu, but they had good instincts.
Yeah,
it's like a fighter instinct.
Yeah.
No, I've experienced the same thing. Actually, I can't tell who's who. Like this.
Yeah.
Their ground game is kind of not so good.
No. I would place a $20 bet. The one on bottom, he's the Kung Fu guy.
Really?
He's the Kung Fu guy, the one on bottom.
But at the same time, the guy on top, if he's the grappler, he should be able to easily get out of close guard and switch to something else. It just looked like he just stayed in. It is, yeah.
What's his level?
I don't know. But also look at their stance.
Mm-hmm.
My concern is I don't see any Southern Shaolin going on in here.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a bad joke. I don't know. I think the guy in the American flag shorts is probably the MMA guy. Yeah, he went try to single leg.
The guy with the American shorts is most definitely the grappler.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, he most definitely is.
Yeah. I don't know why he just stayed in the dude's close guard though. That's weird.
Because the other guy's punching him in the face, and he's not used to being punched in the face, probably. Because he's a grappler, He's like, what is this?
The guy
what do I do with this?
The Kung Fu guy
Both of them are like that right now.
Yeah. Well, the Kung Fu guy was also like breaking his posture down and hugging him. So
yeah.
That can be difficult to mitigate when you're trying to escape someone's close guard. See, he's doing it right there. He's just hugging his head and holding him down.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes that is what we're taught to do is, break posture.
Yeah.
Like I said, good instincts.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he may have had a little bit of grappling, experience.
Some kind, like introductory or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, is the goal of this fight to submit someone or just beat them to a pulp?
I have to reread the article, but it sounded like they requested a no rules fight. So I guess this is the no rules fight. I don't know what the
what does that even mean?
I don't know what the conditions for victory are, though.
Yeah. Like right there, you could scoot up and try for
or you could sweep him.
Arm bar, sweep, yeah, something. Because he's just in there taking it. Like right there, that's perfect time for a sweep. He's already has his posture broken. Just go for a sweep.
Or if he played rubber guard. Dun dun dun.
Like, yeah, right.
Wait,
there.
Are you talking about the guy on top? Okay, the guy on. That's why I'm wondering, like, what is his skill level? He has to be maybe beginner, like blue belt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because, like, if he were anything higher, he'd be passing guard, mounting, all that good stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's just like he's staying in the guy's guard. You're not. He seems more of a brawler.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely just kind of hanging out and absorbing damage while dishing it out. This camera person needs to.
I know. Well, they're probably busy like yelling at whoever.
Yeah.
And cheering them on.
Need a tripod.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know who wins this.
They're both clearly very tired.
Yeah, they burn
sweet.
They burn themselves out.
I'm so curious about the skill level for both of them and their respective sports.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Well,
because I feel like that was not I don't think that was the most skilled kung fu master versus like a black belt jiu-jitsu. Like, I don't think that is what we were watching just now.
Do you want to watch the last minute of it?
Yeah. I want to see who wins.
Yeah. Like who wins based off of what parameters, but yeah.
Because it looks like now he's going for a submission or something, like a arm bar or something like that.
I think he's going for a shoulder lock or Kimura or something.
Yeah.
Well, I think he got it.
Yeah, I just don't understand why he wasted all that time.
Or maybe not.
Wait.
They're still going.
Like, why waste all that time beating the person when you just armbar them or something?
Mm-hmm.
Well, considering the nature of how this fight came about, he's probably trying to prove a point. What the hell just happened? Oh, there it's back. It's over.
So we don't know who won?
Hold on.
I don't think we were watching two masters here.
No,
that's for damn sure.
Those guys are clearly beginners.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull up the article.
It was a brawl. That was it. It was just a brawl. Neither of them represented their sports
or their schools,
in the best way.
So the Kung Fu guy said his coach was telling him that grappling is not important. He was going to defeat Morrison, the other guy, I guess in the American flag shorts, without taking the fight to the ground.
Yeah. I can see that.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, right. Cool story, bro.
I mean,
So
you can't go up against a grappler and say like, okay, I'm not gonna take it to the ground, or
the day of the fight, the kung fu guy and his coach showed up, or sensei, sifu, whatever, with 15 plus of his other students. And after signing the waiver of liability, decided not to use gloves and asked for one single 15-minute round, and that there would be no rules to the fight.
Aren't martial arts masters and senseis supposed to be humble? Because this guy does not sound that way.
it's just like uh, why are you know shitting on another martial art like that? Like, oh, it's
Right.
Oh,
grappling's not important. Grappling, it's a completely different thing from kung fu. So there's no point in someone who's going into kung fu. Of course, they're not gonna really pay a lot of attention to grappling. So
And that's
you
what I'm
know,
saying. Like any master or sensei in a martial art should be humble toward any other master in a
yeah.
different form of martial art because they're both masters in their own respective forms. If
I
if you're
mean,
not humble and you're not
yeah.
respectful toward another sensei, even if they're not like I don't get that. To me,
Well,
that's
maybe,
not a true
yeah.
sensei.
my,
It's just
I
not.
guess maybe it's one of those things where it's like, MMA and jiu-jitsu are everywhere, and it's just a marketing ploy to try and get more students.
Oh, true. I didn't even
yeah.
think about that. It could have been, yeah.
My thing is, if his Sifu was so confident in their style, he should have went and did it himself.
Yeah.
You don't throw somebody
I
else
It's
into the
agree.
wolves.
yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I don't know.
that I
No,
don't
go ahead.
like. That I don't like. Like,
No,
um,
yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm like. If you
Especially
bring
someone
up,
so inexperienced. Go on.
yeah, it's like if you bring up the idea, you fight, or if you're gonna put your student in, then you need to say, hey, I'm gonna put my student in.
oh, check this
So
out. The
You know,
Sifu.
I was gonna say there's
Oh, hold on one
oh, go
second.
ahead.
The Sifu intended to provide for his students a pointed lesson in the worthlessness of ground fighting by beating up on an
mm,
MMA coach. Unfortunately, at one point, the Kung Fu disciples asked, with some concern in their voices, how long before the no rules fight is stood up.
mm.
So, yeah, that Sifu sounds like a dick.
It's funny because I think about like Kruchan
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm,
Master Sugi, and both of them are they're killers in their own sport and very respectful of each other.
yeah,
And they don't think that one is better or better than the other. They just think like this is my sport of choice. This is what I
yeah,
know and what I love, and this is my sport. And
yeah,
there's never any like competition between the two,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't think there ever should be between like
yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's completely
Mm.
counter.
It doesn't prove anything at the end
Yeah,
of the
and
day
it's like
because it's like, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna think when I think about a sensei of a particular martial art, they are humble, they are respectful, they are they recognize that their martial art is not the only form out there.
Yeah,
Um, and if somebody is not that way, then they're not a true sensei. That's kind of how I
yeah.
feel.
And I mean, also, it's just like, yeah, grapplers jokingly shit on things like karate and all of that. But like at the end of the day, I have respect for other martial arts, and I'm not gonna go to some other school and be like, oh, jujitsu is the best. I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna beat everybody. It's just there's no point.
So,
But it, go
real
ahead.
quick, this is a video of the Sifu in question actually fighting himself from around 2009. So this is
Fighting himself.
yeah, he's actually fighting in a MMA rules match instead of sending one of his boys to do it.
Oh, fighting. I thought he meant fighting himself like from the future.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he
That'd be
cloned
cool.
himself. I mean, if I could clone myself and just fight myself, I think that'd be pretty fun. Of course, there could be only one, and I have to decapitate them. Never mind. Anyways, let's
with
your knife.
With your bayonet knife, yeah.
Shush.
So who's the Sifu? Where's the Sifu?
It's the guy on the left.
On the left, yeah. Real casual. So it's against an MMA.
Yeah, an MMA guy. I don't know if this is an MMA coach or what.
Mm.
And his hands are down.
Yeah.
This looks so bad.
So quickest way to get knocked out.
So bad. Who is this person in the green shirt? Like, who are they supposed to represent? Or sorry, which martial art are they supposed to represent?
The guy in the green shirt is the Kung Fu Sifu that was telling the other guy that ground fighting was worthless in the other video.
Mm. So he set up a different fight, I guess. Looks like.
Right.
Okay, he's tearing his shirt off. That's cool. Go on.
Yeah, now he's on the ground.
Yeah, ground game is completely irrelevant.
He's got nothing here.
I mean, he didn't have anything standing up.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why he wasn't doing anything. I think he's used to other people doing kung fu, kind of keeping their same stance and not moving around as much,
That's the fucking point, though, Wale. It's like shitting on other forms of martial arts where it's just like a different game. And as a sensei, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Because each master is a master of their own sport. And like, I don't know, a basketball player wouldn't be shitting on a baseball player. They're two different sports, but they're equally
yeah. It's also
ass beat is hilarious.
It's also like why
hilarious. Look how fucking torn his shirt is.
It's also like why would you go from like why would you go to like, oh, let me do MMA against this person who's a trained MMA fighter? It makes no sense.
Because there's lots of people out there who surprisingly have. What is that? There's like a syndrome. I'm trying to remember what it is. Where you're, okay, this is going to be kind of insulting, but we're like, you are so stupid that you don't realize how stupid you are.
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah.
There's actually a syndrome out there.
There's a term for that.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
I think the Sifu suffers from just a very large, unfortunate case of arrogance. He obviously has never engaged in a fight before. Like if he walked in with his hands down, he was twitchy, he was stiff. It didn't.
I got it.
What is it?
The Dunning-Kruger effect.
Oh yes, yeah. But again, like it didn't. If you were to put that guy and evaluate what he was doing, just in a fight against anybody else untrained off the street, would you be able to tell that this guy was doing kung fu?
Yeah.
No.
I'd be like, what are you doing right now?
Also, kind of, dress for success.
I know. I mean, come on.
I think maybe he thought that I'm gonna prove even more how worthless this is by just like waking up and getting into the ring to do this.
Even from a conditioning and the athleticism standpoint, like compare those two guys. The dude in the tank top was obviously an athlete. The Kung Fu master, I use a term,
not so much.
But the thing too is like somebody who is athletic, even if the MMA guy didn't really have that much experience, just athleticism alone can win a fight, a fight like that.
Yes,
Mm.
it's true. But yeah, that actually that fight we just looked at was from about 2009. So that's older than the first fight that we saw. And I have a feeling, connecting the dots, that's probably why the Kung Fu Sifu sent one of his boys into that second fight.
The second time, yeah.
Yeah. It's silly.
If I was a student, I'll say, well, didn't you get your ass whooped last time? Is that why you're sending me?
Yeah. But then again, he probably never said anything. He probably didn't, bring it up.
Didn't even know about that.
He was like, hey, I need you to fight this guy. And
Yeah.
he's like, yes, sensei.
But like I said, you can convince somebody completely reasonable and rational to do something completely stupid. Like
Yeah.
that is just the nature of human beings.
That's the nature of manipulation. That's what that is.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, I don't know, common sense has to kick in at some point. Like if someone told me right now, even with the skill level that I have, I want you to go fight this MMA dude. I'm like, hell no, I'm not gonna do it. Like I've never done MMA in my life.
Nope.
You, Wale, you were a very reasonable thinking person. You're an older man with a family. This person who is like, yes, sensei, is probably some like young guy in his early 20s trying to like make his sensei proud. And that defines his self-worth.
So
no, I'm kind of wondering if that sensei has ever shown up on McDojos.
So I would, I have to go check McDojo Life. But there's a little blurb in here where it says, they're updating, they gave a little bit of an update on the guy, the fighter from the Kung Fu fighter from the first video and the Kung Fu Master. It says the Kung Fu Master, unfortunately appears to have slunk away and his current whereabouts are lost to history. So this guy completely disappeared.
That's fucking hilarious, bro.
He brought shame to Kung Fu.
His student,
he really did.
His student from the first video, actually started training with the founder of Dirty South Boxing Club, who's a pro boxer and pro MMA fighter, and he went on to have a amateur MMA record of 7-9, 7 wins.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wait, so that's the guy in the white shorts from the
first video,
fighting the dude in the American.
Yeah. So I give him respect. That's a lot more than most people have ever done.
Yeah, it also looks like he had some. It looks like he was an enthusiast of grappling. It looks like he may have watched some videos and it's like, okay, I know how to do close guard. I know how to do some basic stuff. Yeah, so I respect that.
Yeah. No, total respect for him. Like it sounds like reading between the lines, he realized that sticking with the Sifu was probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
And he went on to actually become a fighter. So good for him.
That's the irony in all of this. His Sifu is trying to show him how worthless grappling is, and then he goes on to become a grappler.
Yeah. What else can I pick out from here?
Yeah, you need a McDojo Life video.
So
palate cleanser.
On that note, there's a guy on Instagram, Jiu-Jitsu Dad Bod. He had a lot Instagram live running, and the dude from McDojo Life was on there. They were chit-chatting. I said hi. He said hi back to me. I was a fan.
Fanboy.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I'm trying to. Sorry, go ahead, Wole.
Oh no, I was just saying Jiu-Jitsu Dad Bod is the name.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta check it out.
He does a lot of memes and stuff. He's pretty funny. What were you saying, Yana?
I'm trying to find like sponsorships, and I was asking like jiu-jitsu colleague of mine how she got some sponsorships, and it's funny because I was like, she said, find a brand that you already wear and that
Yeah.
you've been buying from regularly. And I thought that I was an inverted gear. I thought that was like my brand of choice, but when I was looking through all my jujitsu clothes, it was like mostly not 93 brand.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, okay, so I should like email this company, be
Yeah.
like, hey, do you want to sponsor an athlete? I'd love to sponsor you.
Mm-hmm.
And blah, blah, blah. Here's my story. And unfortunately, they're not accepting any new sponsorships. So,
No, I have
whatever.
I have a suggestion. It's probably a little bit of a long shot. Try half sumo.
Half Sumo.
Mhm.
Okay.
Wait, is that a brand?
Yeah, it's a
Or,
brand. They do
mm.
rash guards and gis and
Are
stuff.
they newer? Are they smaller?
They're a small company, but
Okay.
I like their products. Just take a look. I don't know if that's your style, but I found their rash guards to be extremely comfortable for somebody of my body type.
Mm.
So, and
Uh,
real good quality.
I'm a inverted gear kind of guy. I do like this stuff.
That's my second choice. That's why I was like, that's my brand. And then I was like, hold on a second. I guess I have more 93 brand stuff, but inverted gear, that's
Yeah,
they
I
have
feel like inverted gear is smaller than 93 brand. I may be wrong, but
what I wouldn't I
I
don't know
mean,
anything about that. I'm smaller than you, so I have no response to
no,
that.
no, like sorry, smaller in terms
Like
of like
company.
smaller company wise. Yeah,
Oh, really? You think so?
I think so. I think so. I don't know. Maybe that's kind of the feel I get from them.
Huh.
Um, yeah, I
Hold
don't know.
on. Nuh-uh.
But also, I do wonder about sponsorship and stuff. A while ago, which brand was it? There was a brand that had like sponsorship open, and like I signed up, but it wasn't really kind of exclusive or anything like that. They're just kind of sponsoring a whole bunch of folks. But
Hmm.
then I don't really know what that requires. I guess like shouting out on your social
Yeah,
media.
so what I was
Yeah.
told, the advice I was given was like, if you want to be sponsored, you should reach out to the company, share your story, like make, you know, kind of give them a snapshot of who you are and how you contribute to the jiu-jitsu community. And it's always important to add a link to your social media page if you keep one up. And that's how they mostly I feel like a lot of companies prefer people who are more active on social media
Mhm.
where they're
Oh,
like
I'm out.
posting all the time and hashtag this, hashtag that. I am not that person.
Hashtag Jits Life.
Yeah. Hashtag hyperfly, hashtag
Hash
93
hashtag
brand,
Oos.
whatever. Yeah. I mean, I'm not that type of person. I know you aren't.
No.
So it's hard to like find a
Yeah, it's
sponsor.
hard. I mean, I think also when you get older, that's your priorities are different.
Yeah.
It's like my priority isn't really sponsorship, but it'd be great. I do want to start what do you call it? Like my jujitsu Instagram page.
Your
that's all that's
athlete
what
page.
yeah, that's what the kids are doing these days, like Wole.jujitsu or Wole.bjj or something. So yeah. I don't know. I might do that. What's going on there? Anyway, yeah, but I'm not gonna be posting all the time. Like
Yeah.
maybe I'll post for what do you call it? Oh, okay, yeah. Maybe I'll post for competitions and stuff like that. But
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not very active on social media. So I feel like I have a hard sell. But why do I
yeah,
have to be active on social media? Like, why can't I just like wear your brand when I'm training and
I
competing?
guess
Like
that's that
all the
they
time.
they need exposure. That's how
So
they.
What
the
happened
way
before social media? You know?
You have to be famous.
well, the thing is with social media is kind of ruined a few things. I kind of feel like sponsorships is one of those because the first thing a lot of these guys look at from my experience, not necessarily with jujitsu companies, but just the companies I used to deal with when I had a small business running, is the first thing they look at is your social media presence. So I had some I had some parts dealers that flat out told me no. And their reasoning was because I didn't have enough Instagram followers, which is completely
Wait, hold
stupid.
on. So you are buying stuff from them, and
Yeah,
they don't want to,
I
and
wanted
they didn't
a
want to sell to you.
right. I applied for a dealer's account and they had a section for your social media presence. So you had to fill out like
So you're telling me they don't like your money?
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it was completely stupid. Sorry, that's a verboten word, by the way. Um, yeah, actually, folks, it is just about a little over the hour. I believe it is time for final thoughts. We'll go over the side control video next week. We'll start with Yana.
Oh, well, I have a few thoughts. One is any woman out there who is interested in thinking or interested in starting jujitsu or has started jujitsu and questioning why the fuck they started doing this, stick with it, join it, do it. There's plenty of us out there, and we need more women in this sport. And my second thought is I think that social media shouldn't be the end all and be all when trying to find sponsorships. I think it should be about your story and who you are and um, how you represent yourself in life. And that's why a company should sponsor you, not just because you post a lot of shit on Facebook or Instagram. It's because you're like a hardworking person who has dedicated their many years to jujitsu, and it shouldn't just be about social media. Those are my two final thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Wole?
I agree with your points. Like, we need more women in jiu-jitsu. It's a great sport. It's fun. You know, self-defense is a side effect, I think. Um, but sponsorship, yeah, I think sponsorship should not be about who has the most Instagram presence. I get it. Companies want exposure and all of that, but it's also there's a deeper human story for everyone, and that's something that should be explored. And also respect other martial arts, yeah, including karate. You know, respect other martial arts. I'm just joking. Yeah, definitely respect other martial arts and stay humble. You know, because there's always somebody out there who can kick your ass. Which,
Yep.
funny story, one of the folks who got promoted to black belt, he was telling a story about how he was teaching. As a brown belt, he was teaching a class, and this kid comes in his first day, and he rolls with this kid, and the kid gets him in a triangle or something, and the instructor was like, I'm not gonna tap to this. Next thing he knows, he was flat on his back, looking up at the ceiling, seeing stars. So his advice was, if it can happen to a brown belt, it's who's going up against someone that first day, it can happen to anybody.
Yep.
So stay humble.
Yeah, my final thoughts. I've been mispronouncing words all day.
Final thoughts.
My final thoughts. Yeah, I kind of feel like you shouldn't indulge people like this kung fu guy. Like if nothing is really learned from it, and it keeps them from getting injured.
Yeah.
So Yana picked up a dark void. That was kind of weird.
With eyes.
Oh, it's a cat. I was like, what the heck is happening? No, anyways. But yeah, I kind of feel like people shouldn't indulge guys like that. Like that Sifu obviously seemed like there was something up here that wasn't right.
But
Like,
there's always someone willing to indulge. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And if somebody tells you to go into a fight with someone from someone who is more experienced, or just if your instructor tells you to just randomly go into a fight, run. Change schools.
Yeah, just change schools. Don't do anything that your instructor wouldn't do. Like if you haven't seen him do it,
true.
Don't do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
Like, I always tell guys in the no-gi class that I teach, if I'm not doing it, you don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, that's it. We'll see you all next week.
All right. See you. Have a good week.
Bye.
Yeah.
Have a great night.
Yana, I have a suggestion for you about social media presence, but we can talk about that later.
Okay.
After Run a Giant. Okay. Bye.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
All right.